Today we live in a troll century. Remember the good old days when we used to have haters? Not anymore. Now we have something way more aggressive. From politics, organizations, public figures, even animals. We're out to seek and destroy anything in its path. Today we are going to debate these topics and talk about the issues from the perspective of both sides of today's pop culture.
Hi guys, Erica here. So this episode of Troll Century is sponsored by The Peach Bar, where we love to empower women and make them feel silky smooth. Don't forget to check out our website, www.thepeachbar.com, or our Instagram page, thepeachbarwc.
Hi guys, welcome to Troll Century. I go by the name of Dan Cologne. Today we have two talented debaters. Over to my left we have Tashika, and to my right we have Mikey. Today's debate will be about the Me Too movement. Is the Me Too movement an organization it's out to destroy? Should it be abducted in the Trolls Hall of Fame? Sounds like a good debate to me. Let's get started with Tashika. Whenever you're ready, speak your piece.
Well, first, I think it's important to distinguish that the Me Too organization, it isn't really an organization, it's a movement. And I think it's very important to recognize that, because the fact that it's a movement, there's one population that stands to gain something and then one population that stands to lose something. Some people will say that, it's trolling men, it's making men seem like they're the enemy, that they're evil or they're bad, but that really isn't the purpose of the movement. It's to bring awareness to an issue that's been going on for a very long time. A lot of women, especially women of color, have been suffering sexual abuse, sexual assault, things like incest. Also, it brings into play people that are sex workers and the abuse that they sustain at the hands of men. So it isn't necessarily organization. There's no one building dedicated to this. It's people, especially women, some men too, that are saying their piece. They're saying that, look, I was a victim. I went through something. Here's my story. I don't want to be judged. I don't want to be looked at as promiscuous, but I want these men to understand that there needs to be accountability for the things that they're doing.
I agree with a lot of what you say about it's a movement and a lot of women are suffering silently and it's coming to the forefront, and I get that, but I feel like with most movements and things like that, it becomes extreme. And I feel like they've been a lot of women, especially like, I don't know if you've seen the Rose McGowan thing on E, which got canceled because it was whack. And like things like that, where it's like kind of like it is a witch hunt on men, and it's like the littlest thing. Like Aziz Ansari got Me Too'd because he whipped his joint out after he's eating a girl out. She was like all that, but like literally she stayed, put her head down, was there. He whipped it out, and she stayed. And she's like, I felt forced to suck it. You could have walked away, sis. So you Me Too'ing somebody over your own choices, and I feel like that's an extreme way that it takes away from men's rights and how men express themselves. Like, honestly, you're a man. You're gonna be held accountable for the actions that you do, which were wrong. But the fact is that you're trying to kill romance and kill like men being men in the hunt, and they're men. You're trying to conform them into women, and that's not who they are.
Bill Cosby is a very controversial figure, and I think a lot of times, especially in the minority community, we're so quick to say, no, he couldn't have done that. He couldn't have done that.
I never loved Bill Cosby.
But they're not, a lot of times, I'm not saying you, but a lot of times they're not looking at the man he really is. They're looking at Dr. Huxtable. And you have to be able to differentiate these two people. He's not Dr. He could be the most evil person in the world, but then when the cameras roll on, he could be Mr. Friendly. You don't know. You have to be able to separate those two people. So when I talk to people and I say, do you believe he did it? He was like, nah, he couldn't have did it. He was America's dad. I'm like, but wait, hold up.
No, I definitely believe he was getting it in. Like,
yeah, how is that evidence of him not being a sexual predator? Because
he's America's dad.
He played a gynecologist on the show. Like, come on, if we really want to go to the show now. So it's just like I think the celebrity aspect of the Me Too movement has muddled it considerably. 100%. But I don't think that the whole thing should be dismissed as trolling men or saying men can't be men because of those outliers.
But that's what it's turning, like literally 1% of the population is homosexual, right? 1% of American population. They have one of the biggest voices in America. So the fact is that if 1% of a movement is muddling it, it's just going to get muddled. If they're the loudest people, because the us who are getting molested on a bus or getting sexually harassed in the streets, getting raped by an uncle, we're not the stories that are being perpetuated.
And see, that's a perfect point you bring, because I feel like that's where the celebrities come into play. Because when your everyday woman says a story like that, if she says it in a corporate world, it might reach HR, but it's not going to reach TV networks, things like that. So I feel like when celebrities are coming out and saying their stories, it's not more as pity on them. It's more to give the movement a voice.
Yeah.
Just like Colin Kaepernick. Like, the reason why he did it was because the stage and platform he had. They all said, he's being paid by the NFL to play. He doesn't have to do it at the game. But he realizes, if I go outside and do this in front of the building, no one's going to look at me. No one's going to watch. So if I go in the game, risk my career, my money, everything, and do it, at least the message is out there. So I feel like the celebrities are stepping up and saying, even if it's something small, like they knew... If I close the door and do something with this man, I'll be the next star. So they did it, and that was a choice they made. Some of them probably weren't, but some of them were. And them knowing they did that, they're still talking about it because they know if I step up and do this, not everyone else is going to be heard. So
see, I get that when your door's locked. You came out, you wasn't. But whose story was it when with Harvey Weinstein? She was like, "Oh yeah, I came out. He went and took a shower, then he came out with his penis out." He was in the shower, sis. What you thought was gonna happen?
But at the same time, his actions, and that's the thing. They know that there's always gonna be a way to spin it to make it look like the victim is the one that is in the wrong, and that's why they're allowed to do it. He went into that shower intentionally, knowing that when he came out, he was gonna be exposed. But he's thinking either she's gonna do what I want her to do, or if she tries to say anything, I could simply just say, "Look, she was there. She knew what I was going to do." But see, that's the problem. Why should I have to be in a room with you and not know if you're gonna think it's okay to come out with your penis out?
You walked into a hotel room with a man and watched that man get in the shower. You stayed. Like, let's be common sense. You're a grown woman. I'm a grownish woman. We can talk about it. Like, you getting in that shower. Now, I already know. I'm from the Bronx. My father raised me well. I'm going to sit there. You're going to get in the shower. I know what you're going to try. I'm aware of this because I'm cognizant, and that's just me. So you're not going to get past me saying, I just was so surprised at a penis because I just came in this room. He is a man, and he's going to come out with his penis, period. So I have the choice if I'm going to do what he wants me to do, or if I'm going to snuff this man, or am I just going to politely walk out while he's in the shower? Because I can't lock a door while you're in the shower. It's a hotel room.
That's true. I just think that there's so much focus on the cases where it could be muddled or it could be interpreted different ways instead of focusing on the cases where it's clearly abuse. For instance, children that are sustaining abuse at the hands of their even parents, their relatives, or people with developmental disabilities that don't know what's going on. So their care workers manipulate them into engaging in sexual activity and they don't even know what it is. These are the victims that that Tarana was trying to bring to light. It wasn't these celebrities that were that agreed to hotel meetings with directors and he was giving them wine and all this stuff. We know things like that happen. And we know there are some women that are going to falsely accuse men of things, of course. But the Me Too movement, what we're getting away from, it was really started to help women, especially women of color, when people were so sexualized at an early age, women of color.
Facts.
As soon as you grow breasts, as soon as you grow a butt, you better keep her in the house because she's going to be fast. Why are we going to be fast? Are you thinking about the men out there that are trying to make us fast? No, because men are never held accountable for their actions.
I agree to an extent. I agree that men need to be held accountable for certain things. Now, for you being a man, saying like looking at her, there's no accountability at that point. You're a man. You get to look at what you want to look at. The moment you touch her, there's accountability that needs to take place. That's where it's just like, okay, you touched me outside of my will. This is where the accountability needs to happen. But with girls, there needs to be, I kind of disagree. Keep her in the house. There's a protection that needs to happen for women that really we lost over the time and ages with this women's liberation where it's like, okay, we're equal. But let's be clear. I have a homosexual friend and he loves to let girls know, girl, I'm still a man. I will whip your butt. I can still beat you up. I am a man. Like you're coming at me because I'm gay, but I'm a man. At the end of the day, and if he knows that, why are we so oblivious to the fact that this is a man? Why
are we also not willing to change society? That's the thing. I feel a lot of people are so easy to accept things the way they are. But part of the Me Too movement is trying to change that conversation, trying to say, wait, hold up. We've been letting our boys and our men get away with so much for so long. When is it our time to feel safe walking down the street at night, to feel safe dressing how we want? Not condoning you going out in a bra and panties and not thinking somebody's going to call out to you.
That's what it is, though.
But
that's exactly what it is. I'm gonna come out butt naked, so say nothing.
But in an ideal world, which you can agree, the purpose of society and why we change laws and we have technological advances is to change society, to move ever forward into an era where people are more comfortable, are healthier, are happier. So why can't we start with something like sexual abuse and sexual assault and trying to make that, to mitigate that so people can be more happy? Because it's not just women. There's a him too movement.
Yeah, I know people who've been raped.
And that's not getting any attention. Why is that? Because again, celebrities are muddling this movement.
I have 2 men friends who've been raped by females.
Yeah, but according to some people, that can't happen.
Yeah, that's
that doesn't exist.
That's the whole thing. It's just like, he was like, I was like, well, did you report it? He's like, I'm gonna be laughing like, oh, she raped me. Like,
that's the problem. He should be comfortable in this day and age to go to a police and say, look, she sexually assaulted me and I want to press charges.
Yeah, he got really stupid drunk. She got it up and she wrote it. He came and she would refuse to take a Plan B the next day.
And people could say, oh, well, you were able to get hard, so you wanted it then.
That's a fact.
You see, was asleep. But he didn't want it.
See, that's the whole thing. If you're unconscious, I completely agree with the story. You're unconscious. Room doors are locked. You're being corrode. Like, it's a whole situation. I completely agree with at that point. But the point where we get to is like, yo, I just can't walk down the street. Now, this man is still a man. Like, he has a penis. He doesn't think the way we think. Our mind doesn't work the same way of men's minds. Like, it doesn't work. They don't learn the same way. They don't do the same things. We're 2 different sexes. We were made completely different. Now, on some level, I'm just like, you know what? You're right. We should be able to walk down the street freely. But at the end of the day, men will still be men. Like, they still have a whole type of membership and thought process that we have that we don't, that they don't feel, that they don't understand. And like, even though we try to get them to understand that, yes, being accountable for their actions, I completely agree 100%. Being accountable, keep your hands to yourself. We learned that in kindergarten. Don't touch nobody, they don't touch you. That's just what happens. But with the whole thought process, and like, men are they're hunters. It's who they are. Men hunt.
But you should be hunting animals and food, not women.
Not men hunting
and
prey.
even the term hunting for women offends me, because first of all, I'm not an animal. This is not hunting. This is and see, that's where we're taking, even by saying that men hunt women, we are inherently taking away our power. Because we're saying that we are these dainty little things that are on the street, and we're just waiting for that one man strong enough to come and whisk us over their shoulder and take us to their cave and knock us over the head and impregnate us.
That's
basically what we're saying.
I'm with that.
When it comes to that, I guess men are so competitive. We've turned everything into a sport.
Exactly.
So it's
that's
like,
some men consider sexual activity a sport.
Yeah.
And that's why in colleges some men will rape women because they're trying to rack up numbers to be able to brag.
And that's
like,
what
are we okay?
That's
with
objectification and putting you out there as a conquest, and that's not okay. Like,
but a lot of these sexual assaults happen as a result of a man feeling this is a conquest. I want you, and I have power over you, so I'm going to get you.
But as women, we have to also take accountability to the fact to look at the situation, feel it out, and know when to leave. That's the whole thing. We're not instilling in our daughters that it's okay to have a voice. That's the whole thing. It starts at home. Like, whether it's a situation, it's like, you can leave. If you're in a frat house and somebody, don't go upstairs with somebody. Literally.
But, okay, so what if it's an instance where it's a guy that you like, y'all been talking for a long time. He's like, oh, do you want to go upstairs?
Nope.
Because it's quieter up there. You can't say that you're always going to say no. Because
I've said no.
I'm saying if you trust that person, because a lot of times, most of the people that are sexually assaulted is by someone they know and trust. It's not the stranger or in the alley or whatever people think. So if you go up to that room and you're like, you know what, I really like this guy. He showed me that he seems to be trustworthy. He's sweet. He's honest. Let me give him the benefit of the doubt and go up there. I'll even let him know, I just, this is the first time us being alone. I don't want to do anything, but I would like to talk to you. And if he grabs your breast there, are you in the wrong because you made it clear you didn't want that and you went upstairs, or is he in the wrong?
You in the right. You are in the right.
But some people say that she's wrong because she went up the stairs.
He doesn't have the audacity to, like we just said, keep your hands to yourself. He does not have permission to touch you if you don't want to be touched. Like, that's the whole thing. I'm a no girl. So I'll say no. Or, no, don't, no. And then I'm like, wait, why'd you stop?
And a lot of times like that, guys, when a girl says no to them and they're doing it like in a flirty way, a guy could be like, a guy in his mind is like, well, maybe I could turn this no into a yes.
That's
now,
yes.
That's what skews things. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm a problem because I'm a no girl. So,
I am too. I definitely understand,
but you know when you get serious and you mean no.
Exactly. But then some women, even when they're expressing that definite no, that man is like, well, you were flirting with me just a second ago.
Exactly.
So what's the problem?
I get that. I understand that. I've actually been in that. So the fact is, like, I get that. No means no.
If you guys like this video and want to see more amazing content, make sure you hit the link above to go to the next part.